गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं च शनीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यं बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम्। ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवीव चक्षुराततम्। ॐ श्रीविष्णवे नमः। ॐ श्लीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्राह्माय नमः। Can everyone say Hare Rama Krishna 3 times? Om Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna. Okay, we are in the 10th house still. Chapter 24, Santana Sudarshan. Yeah, it is recorded. Yeah. Yeah. We are in chapter 24, page 227, verse 115. राज्ये से दारभावस्थे जातो दारस्खान्वितः मनस्वी गुणवान् वाग्मी सत्यधर्मरतः सदा। राज्ये से दारभावस्थे. If the 10th lord is in the 7th house, jataha, a person born like that, darasukhanvitaha means he is endowed with happiness from spouse. He has good marital bliss. Manasvi gunavan vagmi. Manasvi means, literally it means one who has mind. Normally people interpret Manasvi to be intelligent, but to be exact is basically mindful, alert person basically. Gunavan. Gunavan means he has good virtues, virtuous, good qualities. Vagmi means good talker, talkative or good talker. Satya dharma ratah sada. Satya dharma ratah means he is interested. Rata means interested in Satya dharma. He is interested in dharma and truth. He is truthful and dharmic. Okay. Now let us see why each of them. In general, this is a good combination. You have the 10th lord in a Kendra. So, in general, it is a good combination. 10th lord shows the basic reputation of the person, basic social stature of the person. So, him being in a quadrant or trine is basically a good combination. So, in general, you would expect the results to be positive. But let us see why each of those results. Why is he endowed with marital bliss, Darasukha? Well, 7th house is the house of marriage. So if a quadrant lord is there, it is good. Moreover, from the 7th house has Lagna. The 4th lord of Sukha is in Lagna. So that means his agenda is basically to give Sukha in the marriage, 4th from the 7th. And he is in Lagna from the 7th. So he will give happiness in marriage. So marital bliss is there. Manasvi. Why is he intelligent and alert? Manasvi can also be interpreted as somebody who is compassionate basically, somebody who is full of mind. That is what literally it means. So somebody who is compassionate about other people, who has a mind basically. He is not a robot. That's what Manasvi means, somebody who has a mind. Now, why would he be compassionate and in general concerned about other people? Yeah. From the 5th house of emotions, he is one Upjaya Lord in another Upjaya, giving Upjaya Rajoga, good. So, he is very emotional, that's one thing. The other thing is, 7th house is the house of interacting with other people, dealing with other people. So, this planet is there. And the 10th house is your work. So, the planet who shows his work in the society, he is in a house where he has to deal with other people. So, he basically, he deals with other people, and moreover, like we said, he is very emotional. So as a result, basically, he is somebody who is concerned about other people and who is very helpful. Now, why is he Vagmi? Why is he talkative? What are the houses for speech? Talking to people. Okay, 9th lord from 2nd house. But he is in 6th house. Is that really great? Would you say he is very articulate? He is in? Right. See, the thing is, from the 2nd house is not really a great combination. 9th lord in the 6th is okay. Nothing great. Right? But it's not just that. It is the 7th house of interacting with people. See, when you talk about talking, 2nd house is speech, 3rd house is communicating, and the 7th house is interacting with people. So the thing is, when we say Vagmi, we can mean somebody who is very articulate, who is eloquent. Whatever he wants to say, he can find the perfect words so that the point gets across. That is one kind of, that is a talent with respect to 2nd house. But when the 7th house also shows speech in a different perspective, it shows the aspect of the speech from the point of view of expressing and interacting with people. So it's not, he may not be the most eloquent person, but he talks a lot to people. He's basically a talkative person. Vagmi can mean that also. So here we don't see anything fancy going on with respect to the 2nd house or even 3rd house of communicating. But with respect to the 7th house of dealing with people, there's something fancy going on. From that house, basically, the 4th lord of comfort is there. So he finds comfort in dealing with people. So that means he's somebody who's like a chatterbox, who doesn't avoid company, who always goes for people, looks for company. He keeps talking to people, maybe eloquently or maybe average, but he's talkative more than eloquent. Vagmi Satya Dharma Rataha. He is interested in truth and dharma. Why? Why is he interested in truth and dharma? Well, let's see. Truth and dharma are basically shown from the 2nd and 9th house of dharma. So, from the 9th house, what is going on here? 2nd lord in the 11th house. 2nd lord, nothing really great about 2nd lord, but the bottom line is the 9th house is dharma and 2nd house from dharma. What does it show? 2nd house is the food, the resources for following one's dharma. That is why 10th house is the house of career. The work that you do is a resource to your dharma. You can uphold your dharma by doing something good. Suppose your dharma is to construct a temple, you can construct a temple. Suppose your dharma is to learn astrology and help 1,000 people by seeing their charts. So the thing is, the 10th house has a sustaining argala, has a food argala on the 9th house. So the work that you do goes on to basically add to your dharma. It is. So work is one of the resources for dharma, basically, for fulfilling dharma. You are saying something. Moreover, so in general, he has an important agenda with respect to 9th house of sustaining it. This planet wants to sustain the dharma. And also he is in the 11th house of fulfillment. And he has an argala. So basically the planet has a strong influence on the 9th house. So he helps the person fulfill dharma. So more than somebody having a good sense of dharma or wrong sense of dharma, here Satya Dharma Rata basically would refer to somebody who is actually implementing his dharma. He actually fulfills his dharma. The next verse, 116, in page 228. Karme serandha bhavasthe karmahino bhave narah dirghayurapya saujatah paraninda parayanah. Karme se randhra bhavasthe. If the 10th lord is in the house of vulnerability, which is basically the 8th house. Karmahino bhaven naraha. Karmahina means, karma means work. Karmahina means devoid of work. He has no work. He is jobless. So 10th lord in 8th means jobless. Dirghayuhu apyasau. Dirghayurapyasau jataha. Dirghayuhu api. Dho dirghayu. Api means dho. Dirghayu means long life. He is long lived. He has a long life. But such a person, asau jataha, a person born like that, paraninda parayanaha. He is always blaming others. He is interested in blaming other people. He is a very somebody who is always blaming people. Very difficult to satisfy. Okay. Now let us pass each of them. If the Templar is in 8th house, why is he jobless? Well, 8th house is the house of fall, setbacks, upsets, instability, and 10th house is the house of work. So Templar is in the 8th house, so there is a chance of no work, right? It could also mean the planet has an Argala on the 10th house. The Lord of the house has Argala on the house. So the thing is, it could also mean that he is always busy doing. 8th house is the house of, pardon me? It can show hard work, somebody who is working hard. It can show somebody whose job requires hard work, like a rickshaw puller. It can also show somebody who is always working hard, who's never lazy, who's never taking rest. Somebody, a workaholic basically. That is also possible. But the thing is, definitely one of the possibilities is being jobless. But if you see 10th Lord in the 8th house, don't say you don't have a job in your life. Don't look for a job. Don't tell that to people. Most people who have 10th Lord in the 8th house will have some job. But the thing is, if you see in a Tithi chart, 10th Lord in 8th or something, you can expect some trouble in the career. But not necessarily joblessness. Dirghayuhu. Why is he long lived? Well, the house of longevity is 8th house. A quadrant lord is there. From that house, the third lord of vitality is there. And from Lagna, he is a quadrant lord. So a good planet is in the 8th house of longevity. Moreover, 10th house is the work that you do. If you have a lot of work in the society, God will not take you away so fast. So the thing is, 10th house is also a secondary house for seeing the longevity of a person. So anyway, 10th lord being in the 8th house, he will not die very early. He will have a long life. But Karninda Parayanaha, he is blaming other people. Why is he blaming other people? Why is he blaming other people? What is his emotional state? The 5th house. Emotional state basically. In general, how is his emotional state? Taking the 5th house as Lagna, this planet is in the 4th house of comfort, the 6th lord of enmity. So the thing is, when it comes to his emotional comfort, the comfort of his emotional state, the 6th lord from the emotional state. So the 6th lord, 6th is basically disturbances, fights, quarrels, etc. Right? So from the, in other words, or if you take the 6th house of enmity, 6th house of fights, quarrels, enmity, etc. as Lagna, this planet from the 6th house taking as Lagna, this planet is 5th lord in 3rd house. 5th lord basically shows, 5th lord is the house of Purvapunya basically. 5th lord of any house will basically promote that house. So being the 5th lord from 6th house, he will promote quarrels, he will promote fights, etc. Of course, it can be, I'm in general talking about 10th house here. So the house of work means you are overcoming all your obstacles, etc. Right? But the thing is, from the 6th house of enmities, etc., this planet is in the 3rd house of initiative. So what does it mean? He shows an initiative in picking quarrels. Being the 3rd from 6th, 8th house is the house of initiative in quarreling, initiative in picking of fights. So 8th house is an important house for picking of fights. It is somebody who is like a raging bull, somebody who can go on fight with people. So from that point of view, more than Ninda, whether he blames other people or not, bottom line is he will be picking fights with other people. Is somebody who is not interested in peace with other people. He is interested in quarrel with other people. Now the next verse. Rajyeshe bhagya bhejato raja rajakulodbhavah tatsamonya kulodpanno dhanaputradi samyutah. Can you guess whether it will be good results or bad? It will be super results because 10th Lord is 9th, the most important Kendra Lord in the most important tribe. So the verse says, Rajyeshe bhagya bhejato. If the 10th Lord is in the 9th house, a person born like that, Raja rajakulodbhavah. If he is somebody born in a royal family, then he is a king. He becomes a king. Tatsamaha anyakulotpanmaha. In case he is born in another family, not a royal family but in a regular common family, if he is in a common class, then tatsamaha. Then he is equivalent to a king. So what it means is, he is basically either king or king-like. This is a powerful combination. Why? Because 9th house of Bhagya contains the 10th Lord of Karma. So that's an excellent combination. It is basically like a Raj Yoga, Dharma Karma Sati Yoga. Link between Dharma and Karma. Yeah. Yes. So that is also excellent combination. And if they are together, it is even better. If the 9th Lord and 10th Lord are together, instead of just 9th Lord being in 10th or 10th Lord being in 9th, if the lords are together, the two in 9th or 10th are in some quadrant or trine, it is even better. Dhana putradi samyutaha. He is endowed with dhana, wealth, putradi, children, etc. Why? Why? Is there any, can you give any specific reason, or is it just talking about fortune in general? Yeah, I would think, because specifically if you want to say wealth, there is nothing special that you see from the 2nd house, right? And if you talk about the 5th house of children, this is 6th Lord in the 5th house. It doesn't really show anything. So he is in general saying all positive things. He is very fortunate. In general, he is very fortunate, especially with respect to the conduct in society. And if somebody doesn't have wealth, or if somebody doesn't have a good marriage, or somebody doesn't have good progeny, basically there is some blemish on the fortune. Here he is saying the fortune is blemishless. The next verse is Karmeshe Rajya Bhavasthe. Karmeshe Rajya Bhavasthe Sarva Karma Patu Sukhi Vikrami Satya Vakta Cha Guru Bhakti Rato Naraha. Karmeshe Rajya Bhavasthe. If the 10th Lord is in the 10th house itself, Sarva Karma Patuhu means in all kinds of work. Patuhu means excellent guy. He excels in all kinds of activities, all works. He is a master of all, as opposed to jack of all. Sukhi means happy, comfortable. Vikrami, he is bold. Satyavakta, truthful. Guru Bhakti Rataha, he is devoted to gurus and elders. Okay, if the 10th Lord is in 10th, why is he skilled in all kinds of work? Well, 10th house of work is very strong, so he is somebody who does lot of things in the society. Who does lot of things? Somebody who is good at lot of things. So basically he is a very skillful person in various things. He has a very fruitful career and fruitful work in the society. Moreover, from the 5th house of skills and talent, this planet is 6th Lord in the 6th house giving Harsh Yoga. So in an Upteya, basically Upteya Lord in an Upteya. So there is an accumulation of skills. 5th house is skill, and 6th from 5th is, if a planet is giving Harsh Yoga with respect to skill, he is an accumulator of skills. He keeps getting new skills. Sukhi, why is he happy, comfortable? Well, 4th house of Sukha, the 7th Lord from that house is in the own house. So earlier, like we said, first house and seventh house both are like both are important for any house. The house and the seventh are both important. One is the inherent one, and is the external outgoing one. So the fourth house is fortified. So he is very happy and peaceful. Vikrami, he is bold. Why is he bold? Why does it show boldness? Why boldness?
The third house is the eighth lord.
Eighth lord in the eighth house. So with respect to the, again, he is giving Sala Yoga, just like we said from fifth house of children, fifth house of skill, he is sixth lord in sixth giving Harsha Yoga. Similarly, from the third house of valor, bravery, boldness, he is eighth lord in eighth giving Sala Yoga. Straightforward, basically, in the matter of boldness, he is very straightforward. He doesn't think much. So he is very bold, somebody who just jumps in. Satyavakta, he is truthful speaker. Why? Why is he truthful speaker? Well, from the house of speech. Ninth lord in ninth house. So in the matter of speech, he upholds dharma. There is a good sense of dharma in his speech. Similarly, from the house of dharma, ninth house, his planet is in the second house of speech. So he speaks for dharma. And after his speech he is full of dharma. So he is a truthful person. Sadasukhi, always happy. No, sorry. Gurubhakti Rato, I jump to the next one. Gurubhakti Rato Naraha. Why is he devoted to elders and gurus? Well, ninth house shows gurus and elders and how you interact with them. So, with respect to the ninth house, this planet is in the second house, having Akala. Second lord in the second house, so having sustains dharma. So he is basically a very dharmic person. His dharma is very of high order. The next verse is Rajye se labha bhavasthe jato dhanasutanvitah. Rajye se labha bhavasthe jato dhanasutanvitah. Harshavan gunavanschapi satyavakta sada sukhi. Rajye se labha bhavasthe. The temple lord is in the house of gains, house of profits, 11th house. Jataha, a person born like that. Dhanasutanvitaha. He is endowed with wealth and children. Harshavan, he is cheerful. Gunavanschapi, he is virtuous. He has good virtues. Satyavakta, he is a speaker of truth. Sada sukhi, always peaceful, always happy. Why all of these? The temple lord is in the 11th house. Why is he wealthy? Well, the house of fulfillment and gains has a Kendra lord, so he has a lot of gains. Moreover, looking at the second house as Lagna, right? How is this planet? Second house of wealth and family as Lagna. He has ninth lord in the 10th house, so that is excellent. We have seen that with respect to any house. If the ninth lord is in 10th house or 10th lord is in 9th house or something like that, or Kendra lord in Kona lord in Kendra, that house flourishes. So second house will flourish in this case. What is second house? Speech, family. So he will have a good family. That is why Sutanvitaha. He has good children, etc. Children, wife, brothers, everybody will be fine basically. Family, extended family, shown by the second house, is blessed. He is blessed with respect to his family. And blessed with respect to wealth. Harshavan, why is he cheerful? Why is he cheerful? Swami? Yeah. Kendra Lord aspecting a Kona. Kendra Lord aspecting a Kona. So, this planet is linking the 5th house with 10th house. And 5th house is emotional stability, 10th house is the work he does. By linking, he will make him do work which will give him emotional fulfillment. 5th house is emotional fulfillment. So, he is basically cheerful and happy, optimistic person. Gunavanschapi, why is he dharmic? Why is he dharmic? Is he dharmic? Or we are not sure if he means dharmic. He said gunavan. Somebody who has qualities. Guna literally means qualities. Usually we interpret it to mean virtuous, good virtues. It also means somebody who has various good qualities, like various skills, etc. You can interpret it that way. So here, with respect to 9th house, nothing fancy is going on. But he has Argadan Lagna. Lagna is basic nature of the person. So the 10th lord of work having Argadan Lagna will mean he will have various qualities conducive to his work. Planet whose agenda is to make him do important work in a society. He is influencing his basic nature, basic personality. So basic personality has some qualities conducive to doing some good work. Moreover, fifth house of abilities is being aspected by the same planet. Fifth house is, apart from being emotional stability, like we said earlier, it is also the house of the skills and abilities. So he is a talented, skillful person. He has various talents and skills and qualities which are conducive to his work, his role in the society. Satyavakta, he is a truthful speaker. Well, like we said earlier, from the second house of speech, the 9th lord of dharma is in the 10th house. So his speech is very powerful. There is a sense of dharma in his speech.
10th, 11th Lord associations of business, I mean,
Yeah. It can mean somebody who is successful in business, even though he doesn't say it. Yes. Kamatrikona and Arthatrikona are being linked. The final Kamatrikona and the final Arthatrikona are being linked. So it is good for business. Sadasathi, always happy. Why is he always happy? Why is he always happy? I mean, Sukha, Sadasathi means always he is in Sukha. It can mean somebody who has a lot of comforts, or it can mean somebody who is comfortable. But why? Why would that be the case?
from 4th house with the 7th Lord and 8th house.
Yeah, exactly.
Good combination.
So in the 4th house, 7th lord is in the 8th house, so that's not a great combination. So why is he always happy? Where is happiness coming from? Tommy? Right. If you take the 5th house instead of 4th house of emotional stability, this planet is fine. He is a quadrant lord aspecting the trine. So this is fine. So there is some emotional stability. So the thing is, what is 4th house, what is 5th house? Fourth house is how comfortable you feel. It's a moksha trikona. It is basically how comfortable you feel. You feel like, okay, now I can relax. That kind of comfort you are talking about. Because it is not kama trikona. It is the end of kama. It is the end of third house. Fourth house is the end of third house. You have no more initiative, no more drive to do something. You are like, okay, I'm done now. So fourth house is basically comfort from that point of view, right? Whereas fifth house is basically, it is part of the Dhamma Trikona, it is not part of Moksha Trikona. So the comfort given by the fifth house is that of emotionally you are happy, emotionally you are stable, your emotions are stable. That is what fifth house will show. Whereas fourth house, what it shows is that is also very similar, but what fourth house shows is you don't feel like doing anything now. You feel like whatever you need to do is done, so you can relax. So the thing is, from that point of view, this planet is not conducive, especially with the 10th lord being in 11th house. He is a very active, he is a businessman or something like that. He is doing a lot of active work. So he won't have that kind of comfort, the standard comfort shown by 4th house. But the peace shown by a stable mind or stable mental equilibrium, 10th lord accessing the 5th house, that you can expect. Also, Lagna itself is one of the key houses for showing how peaceful, how happy, comfortable a person is, because Lagna is the seed of your personality. So this 10th lord has Argala and the Lagna also. So he controls your personality. So overall, in this combination, he is not an unhappy person. He is a happy person, but he is not enjoying comforts of life like other people may want to. He is busy. The last one. Rajye sher vyaya bhavasthe kasya rajagruhe vyayah chatruto vibhayam nityam Chaturashtrapi chintitah Rajyeshe Vyabhavasthe. The 10th Lord is in the 12th house, the house of laws. Tasya Rajagruhe Jayaha. He spends money at the house of king, which literally, not literally, he doesn't go to king's house and give some money to people there. What it means is, he has some expense on account of king. It could mean taxes or fines, somebody who pays fine to the government or pays taxes to the government. It's basically expenses on account of the kings. It could also mean expenses on account of one's work. Satrutopi bhayam nityam. From enemies also there is fear all the time. Chaturastyapi chintitaha. Even though he is skillful, he is not confident and he is not happy. He is worried. Even though he is skillful, he is worried. He is not really confident of his skill and worried. Okay. If the 10th Lord is in the 12th house, why there is expense either on account of king or on account of in general work?
Lord is in 12th house which is the house of expenses. So, and
10th house is the house of honor in the society. So recognition from kings, honor, etc. So the Lord of that house is in the 12th house of loss. So there is some loss coming.
Resources are from 12th house. Resources for the 10th house.
Right, exactly. The resources for the 10th house, for getting honor in the society or doing your work in the society, is from 12th house of spending. So he has to spend to do what he needs to do. So either he spends a lot of money on royal luxuries kind of thing, or in general there is expense. Exactly what Rajagruhe means here can be debated. Rajagruhe can mean various things. It can mean somebody who spends money for the king, who gives money to the king, or somebody who spends money on things like building a big palace kind of thing. So it can be interpreted in many ways, but the bottom line is he encounters a lot of expenditure on account of his work. Chatudo bhayam nityam, always afraid of enemies. Why? Why is he afraid of enemies? Why is he afraid of enemies? From the 6th house of enemies, this planet is 5th Lord of emotional stability with respect to that in the 7th house of interactions. So this planet basically, or let's say the 10th Lord of work is in the 7th house of interactions with the 6th Lord who was 6th house of enemies. So he has a lot of interaction with enemies. So when you say he is always afraid of enemies, he may or may not be afraid, but what we mean is there is always dealing with enemies. This planet being in the 7th house from 6th house, there is always dealing with enemies. He is always talking to enemies, he is always going and meeting with enemies. He has interactions going on with enemies, and obviously interactions with enemies are not pleasant. So that is why he is using the word he is afraid of enemies. Chaturasyapi chintitaha. Chaturaha. Why is he skillful? Why is he clever and skillful? Why is he clever and skillful? Why? Well, 5th house of skills, 6th Lord in the 8th house. There is Viparit Rajoga. With respect to the 5th house, there is Viparit Rajoga. 6th Lord in the 8th house. But the thing is, because of the Viparit Rajoga, he has skills, but there is no confidence. Finally, his skills, he may end up using the skills. But the thing is, the 6th house of growth of skill is being in the 8th house of termination. He has skill, but he is not fully confident. There is some lack of confidence with respect to the skill.
can something be said about the valor of that?
Yes, say it. The 8th Lord is in the 10th house. with respect to the valor. So what would that mean? If Lord in the 10th, is it a good combination or bad combination? Yes. Third house is valor. 10th house from third house is putting the valor to action. So when actually when implementing the valor, there may be initiative, but implementing the initiative, there is some fizzling out.
That is the confidence.
You can say that. You can say that. So he has a lot of interactions with enemies, and when it comes to the initiative, he has a fizzling initiative. So because of it, you have somebody who has a lot of enemies always knocking on his door, somebody who lacks a little bit of confidence, so he is afraid of enemies. Good. And also we said he is skillful, but he is worried. Again, he has no, the third house being weak, from the third house, the 10th lord being, 8th lord being in the 10th house, he is not very confident basically. He is not very brave and confident. So because of it, even though he has skill, his skills basically, unexpectedly he gets new skills. But he is not confident enough, so he is worried. So with that we will end Parasara for today. I will restart. We will do the chart. Meanwhile you can decide any chart and let's connect this. Okay, we will see an example now. Can you give me the data?
November 29.
November 29.
Yes, sir.
November 29,
1985.
1985,
3:30 p.m.
3:30 p.m.
Visakhapatnam, India.
Visakhapatnam, India. Okay, how should I say it? Somebody with a very busy 8th house.
Karthik, sir.
Who is Karthik?
My brother.
Okay. What is the Karthik? I said as, how do you spell it? K-A-R?
CEEK.
T-E-K, Karthik. Okay. Okay. So we are looking at the chart of Karthik, K-A-R-T-E-K, November 29, 1985, 3:30 p.m. Visakhapatnam, India. 83 degrees 18 minutes east, 17 degrees 42 minutes north. Okay. So what are we seeing? So Lagna is approximately 15 degrees Aries, just on the border of the two horas, and Moon is at 4 degrees 15 minutes Gemini. Okay. So what are we seeing?
He is looking for a job.
Okay.
So he is basically interested in his Dasamsa right now.
Yeah. Which is on the borders. 11 seconds later, basically, the Dasam Lagna will change. If the time is 11 seconds more.
And he has done his master's, sir. He is
Okay.
doing his master's right now.
Okay.
And he has done his engineering in
Let me, 1 second, let me say, on June
June
8, 2009.
7:20.
That's okay. 7:25 p.m. Grafton. Okay. What are we? What were you saying? He did masters in?
He is doing his master's in
Okay. Looking for a job. First of all, let's say right. Looking for job. Okay. Doing masters in?
electronics and computer science.
Electronics, standard thing, and CS. Okay.
He has done his engineering, sir.
Engineering also probably same
Electronics.
in electronics. Okay.
He is basically interested in finding out his career.
Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. So he did engineering, he studied electronics, and now he is doing masters in electronics and computer science. And he is interested in finding out about his career. The tricky thing is his Dasamsa Lagna is on a border. Software will show it as Leo, but if time is 11 seconds later, it will be Virgo. So both Leo and Virgo are possible. We have to figure out which one makes more sense. And let's see Chaturvinsansa. Chaturvinsansa Lagna is Cancer. But again, if the time is 11 seconds later, at the same time when the Cancer changes, because it's a Hora change, all the even divisions will basically change, Lagnas. So D24, D20, D10, everything will change. D4, all the even ones, D8, T12, everything will change. So we can use any even division, even number based divisional chart to verify whether it is below 15 degrees or above 15 degrees, and then we can be confident of the Dashansh Lagna. We can give predictions for the period. Okay, we'll do that. Now first let's attempt to look at Siddhamsa. So Siddhamsa possibilities are either Leo or Cancer. The given is Cancer. Which one explains electronics education more? Why?
Ninth house has Kuja and
Excellent, fantastic. Yes, very good, very good. So if the time is wrong and Leo is the Lagna, the ninth house of bachelor education has Mercury and Mars in own sign. Mars in own sign with Mercury. Mars shows electronics, Mercury shows computers, mathematics, logic. So that Mercury-Mars combination shows maths, mathematical subjects, and especially electronics is a possibility. And the second house of masters also is Virgo. It is owned by Mercury. Jupiter is there, but he is not that strong. Comparatively, Mercury, the lord of that house, is very strong in the ninth house. So there is a link between ninth and second house. So his master's education is a continuation of the same Mercury-Mars theme, electronics and computer science. So his current education makes more sense if you change the time rather than take the time as is. Now, with Cancer, does it make sense? Let's see. If you take Cancer, the ninth house is Pisces, owned and aspected by Jupiter and nobody else. And also second house is Sun, Leo. His lord Sun is basically in Taurus. Neither really explains his current education. So let us say the time is wrong. 7 seconds need to be added. I'll just make it 15 seconds. I'll add 15 seconds. So 3:30, 15 I'm making it. Now Siddhamsa Lagna has changed to Leo and Dashansh Lagna has changed to Virgo. Now let us see what is the possible career. Now what is the possible career? So what does he want to know? What career is good for him, or how is the time in his career?
he has not even started his career.
So what are we looking for?
Would he get any kind of a job? He's actually towards the end of his master's.
Okay, he's towards the end of his master's, so the question is, will he get a job in this current position? Fine, let us see.
In electronics related one.
Okay, he's looking for electronics related jobs. In India or US? Where is he?
He's here, sir, in Texas.
He's in Texas, okay, good. Fine. Now, just as a verification, let's look at the Chaturthamsa. When he comes, because Chaturthamsa also changes the border. So, just instead of relying on Chaturvimshamsa, D24, let us compare D4 also. D4, the Lagna we have right now is Libra with the change time. With the original time, it would be Cancer. It's not linear. It's basically quadrants, right? So it has been Cancer. So we have a choice between Cancer and Libra. Does Libra explain his coming to US? When did he come to US?
2007 December, sir.
Okay, 2007 Deck came to US for studies. Okay, 2007 ending. What Dasha was running? First of all, what Dasha should be used for this person? Just Vimshottari, right? So use Vimshottari from Moon. Dasha running in 2007 is Guru Dasha. Can Guru Dasha give foreign residence? I mean, based on Rashi, he is the ninth lord, so he is in Nicha, so it is possible. But let us look at the Antardasha once again. Shani. Guru Shani. Can it give foreign residence? Guru, well, in the Chaturthamsa, just sticking to Chaturthamsa because we want to confirm this. Sticking to Chaturthamsa, the Guru is with Rahu. Jupiter is with Rahu. And also he has Argala on the 9th house. So there is a possibility. He has Argala on the 12th house also. He has Argala on 9th and 12th houses. And he is with Rahu. So there is a possibility. But more importantly, more than that, look at the Antardasha. Saturn Antardasha. Saturn is the, he is Yokarka in terms of residence, but apart from it, what is the link to foreign journey, going abroad? He is the dispositor of Mercury and Sun. Sun is the Balsa Lord. Mercury is 9th and 12th Lord. being the strong dispositor, not only dispositor, he is with them. So he is like landlord who is cohabiting. So landlord who is living with you, he has full control over you. So he has that kind of control over the Bhadaka Lord as well as the 9th and 12th Lord. So there is a good chance that Saturn could take him abroad. So Saturn makes sense. If we take Cancer, Jupiter will make excellent sense. He is the 9th Lord with Rahu. And Saturn, well, he will make some sense. He is the dispositor of 12th Lord Mercury. But it's not really showing anything great. So Cancer also explains feebly, but Libra explains much strongly because Antardasha makes excellent sense. Saturn and Mercury Antardashas are the strongest likelihood for going abroad. Okay, so let us go back to Dashamsha. So what Dasha is running right now? Jupiter. What Antardasha is running right now? Saturn, but Mercury will start later this year. Let us see if Saturn Antardasha or Mercury Antardasha is conducive to starting a career in Jupiter Mahadasha. Saturn is the 5th Lord in Lagna. Can he give a career? Yes. The 5th Lord in Lagna, pardon me? He is Aru Lagna Lord in the 9th house from Aru Lagna, protecting the status image. And he is also 5th house, like we said earlier, Purvabhunya. Especially when for getting a job, you need Purvabhunya. It is not really because you did, it may also be because you are smart and you deserve it, but in general, especially the first job, you have to just impress people. So you have Purvabhunya, you have done some good deed in the past, it's coming back to you in terms of a break. So things breaks basically, job breaks or career breaks, or even if you are an actor, basically the break as an actor, all these things they have a lot of, there is a role of Purvabhunya to a large extent there. So here, 5th house is very important for getting the first job, or in general getting a job, but especially first job. And he is in Lagna showing a beginning. So Saturn Antardasha is likely to give a job. So before November, in the next 5 months, there is a very good chance that he will make a beginning in his career. And how is from Jupiter, how is Saturn? From the Dasha Lord. Yeah, 11th and 12th Lord. 11th Lord of fulfillment in the 7th house. So he is in a quadrant from the Dasha Lord. He is okay. And if you look at the Paka, where is Paka?
With respect to Guru
No.
in 7th house.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you look at the Bhoga, Jupiter Mahadasha, Saturn, the 7th house, it's in a quadrant. It's not really conducive. 7th house is not really conducive to getting a job, starting service, but at least it's in a quadrant. The Bhoga is in a quadrant. So overall, there is the Dasha right, Antardasha right now is very conducive. Let us focus on Sthiti Pravesh. Let us look at this year's Sthiti Pravesh and next year's Sthiti Pravesh. First, let us look at the running Sthiti Pravesh, 2008, right? So you get the Sthiti Pravesh on December 14, right? December 14, 9 a.m. 8:59, 10. Okay. So how is this? Who is the Hora Lord? Mercury. And how is this chart? Pardon me? In the Dashamsa you are saying. Yeah, 9th Lord in the 5th house with the 5th Lord Rahu. So is that conducive to getting a job? And what is the Dasha running right now? Jupiter. But what is the Dasha running later? That is the key, right? What is the Dasha? Yeah? Okay. So you, what is your prognosis? Right. It seems very likely. There is a very good chance that he will get a job in the Rahu period between June 23 and August 1. So basically the next month is a very important month. Will he be done with his studies by then to get a job?
He's actually trying for an intern, sir,
Uh-huh.
and he's in a process of getting it starting from
I see.
another 2 weeks.
I see. Yeah, the time is very conducive. From between June 23 and August 1 is extremely conducive. Especially the Rahu Mercury Antardasa is in the middle of July. That time is even more particularly good period. So this is a good time. And in general, what is the career? Let's go back to the natal chart. What is the career?
Right now he's running the 7th lord in 7th house.
Yeah.
Mahadasa lord.
Natal
D10.
natal D10.
Yeah. Right.
Usually we see 7th lord in 7th house can be business.
Right. Business or independent work. Right. So the thing is, at least the Antardasa is the Dara of the 6th lord. So he can promote, and Saturn is the Karaka for service rather than business. So he can promote being in service. But the thing is, with the strong Jupiter, there is a chance that later, within the Jupiter Dasa itself, because it's a long Dasa, there is a strong chance that he will actually be in business, either business or in contracting, some independent work. Especially possible. Yes. Jupiter, more than Jupiterian work, Jupiter can show consulting. Somebody who is considered an expert in something, somebody who is advising. So he can, during this data, he can mold his career in such a way that he will become an expert in something. Start as an intern somewhere, learn something, and then be a contractor or consultant, giving advice in that. Who? For Jupiter? Okay. Niriti Samsaya can show some latest technology basically. Right? Niriti can show path-breaking things. So if he gets a chance in something, even if it is a little risky, if he gets a chance in some innovative new technology kind of thing, it's a good idea for him to get into those things, because in the long run it may be productive, it may be useful to him. He may be able to make a good consulting career out of it. But this is a chart more than service. This is a chart of somebody. See, Lagna Lord and 10th Lord are in the 3rd house. Yeah, 10th Lord is in the 3rd house. 11th Lord is in the 11th house. 11th house is extremely strong. 11th house are the 9th and 11th Lord, the two Venus and Moon. That is very brilliant. And 7th Lord Jupiter is in 7th house, affecting them. Lagna Lord and 10th Lord Mercury is in the 3rd house of initiative, the two Martian sign, and Jupiter affecting him. Right? And A3 is in the 7th house with Jupiter in it. So all these things. And A7 also owned by Jupiter. A3, A7 both are owned by Jupiter. So because of these factors, it is very, very likely that within Jupiter Dasa itself, he will basically have a business or something like a business. He will be an independent consultant. So work the career from that angle rather than plan, okay, I'll have a job, I'll keep working, I'll be happy. Be more ambitious. That is a good idea for him. And especially become an expert in some high-tech subject. And invest some time in it. Invest a few years in it.
He's trying to get into that line of electronics, sir. He's very interested in
Which line of electronics? Electronics is everything.
Related to that,
Yeah.
signal processing is actually trying to get into some kind of software annadoddu అందులో he's trying to get into basically electronics associated with software and stuff, and he's rigorously trying to get a break, and seems to be that there is no one who's actually accepting his resume right now, and he's really getting worried about it. So what he did was, I actually put his resume in my company. I was able to get a 2-month intern, and they're supposed to interview him and get it. So what his question was, would I be able to do something in the electronics career, because he's invested a lot of time and he's really interested in doing that.
Yeah.
And having seen Jupiter there, what I told him was any kind of a research related activity.
Jupiter and Niriti is some kind of research in some high tech. Secondly, The temple lord and Lagna lord is Mercury. So Mars is not really that strong a planet here. Mars and nodes are not really playing a very prominent role. The key planets are Venus, Moon, Jupiter and Mercury. When it comes to the nature of the work, the 10th house is owned by Mercury. Of course, Mercury is in a Martian sign, but the thing is, it is Mercury. So there may be some electronics involvement, but it is likely to be related to software, logic, etc. Mercury. But the thing is, actually, I take it back. Mercury is in Martian sign, and Mars is in Arul Lagna. Exalted Mars is in Arul Lagna. Moreover, 8 and 11 are in Aries. The tangible career is 8 and is in actually Aries. So the thing is, it is possible that he will actually go into electronics later. Maybe not just restricted to software. He may actually be more in hardware or design, silicon design, etc. is possible. Ketu is in the 6th house of, so Ketu is in 6th house and, okay, A10 and also A6 are in Martian sign. A6, A10 both are in Martian sign. So it is possible, but maybe the Dasha right now is not conducive. And the Dasha next is also not conducive. Mercury and the Dasha, Mercury is not really showing electronics career, but Ketu shows electronics, silicon, etc. Ketu Dasha, maybe there is some scope for change. But the thing is, don't despair, just whatever you get a chance to, whatever you get exposure to, build expertise in it. That is what I would suggest. Because it's very difficult to know exactly which area, whether he will be a real estate expert or system C expert or this.
Right, I was actually not even seeing any kind of an electronics, and that is the reason I was saying, because I've invested, so he really relates to that.
There is a chance that he will get into more electronics, but for now, maybe not. In the Saturn and Mercury and Antardasa perhaps not. But Ketu very likely. But in general, if you look at the Rashi chart, 8th house has all the planets. So, and 10th lord Saturn is also in the 8th house. So when the 10th lord is in the 8th house, it will not be a smooth career. It will be either it will be a rocky career, or it will be somebody who is working hard, somebody who is dedicated to his work. So try to be in the second. The thing is, this is what I was talking about on the list. The thing is, to say this combination means this. At this so and so second you will be urinating, at so and so second you will be eating. You can't do that kind of thing in astrology. There is scope for free will. There is, you have a set of possibilities, and you say this are possible. Which one it will be depends on the course of action that you take. Sometimes the course of action you take may be very limited. The combinations may be so bad that you pretty much have no choice. But still, even in those situations, if people actually really think straight, they will find options. People are not looking at all the options. They have because of their faith, their mind is attached to certain options and looks at only those as options. It doesn't consider any other options. That is why they are in agony. Basically, they are pushed in a direction. They go with that momentum. If they see what else is there, take a break, they can try to steer them away from that path. So that is what free will is. And you can't put a formula, say free will is like, somebody gave me a website which says free will is 35% and destiny is 65% or something like that. It's all nonsense. Bottom line is how much you can't really put numbers because they are not really comparable. It's like comparing oranges and apples. One is the restrictions based on what you have done before, what you have gotten yourself into, and the other is what you are going to do now, how you are going to get yourself out of it.
From the start, how much free will we are putting in, how much willpower we are using.
No. Horoscope is, see, this is where there is a controversy, as we have seen on the list. Anybody who tells you, somebody just wrote a cryptic reply the other day just saying free will is seen in horoscope. That is utter nonsense. If you say horoscope also shows free will is what you are acting, what you are doing. What you are doing is, at that second you are deciding it. Of course, you can also say God has already decided it, but it's not in your horoscope. It is not based on, see, this is all the actions that you have taken until today. Until your birth. All the actions your brother has taken until birth, those have decided the circumstances in which he will have to lead his life now. So those have been coded as the horoscope. But the thing is, he has taken some more decisions in the last 20-25 years. So those actually modify the destiny, either strengthen it or weaken it, or it's not just a number. When I say strengthen and weaken, I am talking as though it is a number. It's not a number, it's not a one-dimensional field. Destiny is a two-dimensional or three-dimensional or n-dimensional field. So the thing is, it's tough to say, it's wrong to say strengthen or weaken, but you are modifying it.
The number of options that that person is given is based on what he has been doing since last 25 years.
Right.
Can we say that, sir?
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is this, all these actions will be reflected in the next life horoscope. But this horoscope has no way to basically know exactly how the free will has been used. But if a person has used the free will in very predictable way, he is placed in a particular circumstance. The horoscope may show certain weaknesses, certain temptations. For example, it may show he will be in the company of beautiful woman. He may be an actor who is tempted by beautiful woman, but he may resist the temptation, or he may fall for it. That's free will. You have free will, but it's very likely that in the kind of circumstances you will fall. It is likely. In that case, the action is predictable. So the thing is, the actions, you can say use the word free will, or you can even say individual will. The actions that are being performed by the individual ego, those actions, the new actions, may be predictable to some extent, but maybe not. The horoscope only gives you what kind of circumstances are, under what kind of circumstances those actions are taking place. That's it. Your previous actions decide current circumstances, but your current actions are completely in your hand. But unfortunately for many people, even though they are completely in their hand, they may be doing what the circumstances basically suggest them to do, without looking at the other options. They will just go with the flow. In which case, you are going with the flow. The flow decides where you go next. That decides where you go next. You are basically, life is to a large extent predetermined.
The other person was asking about the Maharishi Parasara.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Something like that. When we are going to get out of the tiger's back, and he was revolving around the same.
There is only, if you ask any philosopher, forget astrologers. Ask, for example, somebody sent a nice link of the Chandrasekhar Bharati, not Saraswati, Chandrasekhar Bharati. The Saraswati is used for the Kanchi Parampara, this is Sringeri. So he is a very learned man. He basically said, there is nothing you can do about your previous karma. It is Gatam Gataha, it is past. Horoscope is basically your previous karma. It is done. So there is nothing you can do about it. Moreover, there is no way to actually know it accurately also, in his opinion. Astrologers may believe that there is a way to know it accurately, but my belief is there is a way to know it to some extent, but not accurately. That is my feeling, because the knowledge is not lost or corrupted to a large extent. But the bottom line is, so he says, past actions you have no control, current actions you have control. So how do you get out of the answers to Kamesh's question is by engaging in the using your free will, using your individual will to free you rather than to get you enmeshed even further in the entanglements. Exactly what that is basically how to make spiritual progress. That is the crux of spirituality. How to do the right action. How do you decide what is the right action for you? Because by doing the right actions, you are reducing the debt, and at the same time not incurring new debt. By the way, even when you do the right action, if you do it with identification, I am doing, the stronger the pride and ego and identification with the act, the stronger the new karma that is generated for future. So it may be good or bad, but some karma is being generated. So do whatever you are doing, whatever seems right to you, do it, but without attachment, without ego, without pride.
One single question. If I do something, what is the reaction that it is going to give to me? And with the sense of egoness, if I do something, what is it going to do? With the sense of no egoness, what is it going to do? And what is that sense? And me doing it ankoravalla, what is the reaction that I am going to get back from the...
See, actually doing without ego is very difficult. So, but the thing is, suppose somebody is doing something, he just feels like, okay, now I have to do this, I have to see this chart, or I have to teach this, or I have to talk to this person, I do it. Later, if I don't think too much about it, suppose when I say something, somebody basically blasts me, somebody says he's an idiot. If I am thinking too much about it, he's calling me an idiot, what should I do about it? I'm basically attaching myself so much with the thought. So the thing is that the attachment to an action is not just during the action. Even after the action it will continue. Attachment with anything, any object or action lingers for a long time. So the thing is, while acting, doing the action without attachment, without the sense of I am doing it is very difficult. It is possible only after you are liberated. Only if you are a Jivan Mukta, you will be able to, it is possible, but it is possible only if you are a Jivan Mukta. You are liberated, you don't have any individual ego. You have a body, it is basically, you see this body as just like Satish is one body, she is one body, I am one body. So I just look at it as one person. I am not looking at it as I. That is the state of a Jivan Mukta. It is difficult to describe, but the thing is, such a person will be able to commit actions without any attachment to the action while acting. But most people who have an ego, there is an ego which wants to do things. So without that ego correcting the action, it is impossible to do the action. So whatever seems right to you, whatever your best judgment and best intuition tells you is the right action, do it. Because that is the best you can do. Do it. But, and while doing it, associate with the action. I am doing this. This is a good thing. I am doing it. But the moment you do, say Krishna Arpanamastu. Give it to Krishna. Move on. That is relatively easy. This, what I am describing, is relatively easy because you can focus on what to do next. Don't waste too much time. I did that, but people are not understanding. Fine. If people understand, they understand. If people don't understand, they don't understand it. If you are not the door, if God is doing through you, whatever is to come out of it will come. If you keep saying, I did that today, I fed that person but he didn't thank me, instead he thanked that person, I helped him for 10 years, I gave him $100 every month to that person. This person came and gave $10 today, he's thanking me, not thanking me. Like that basically people are thinking. Every action that they are doing, they are expecting a return. And then they are always analyzing, I did this, this happened, I did this, this happened, I did this, but this did not happen. Why? Like that basically all these actions and reaction and results, they are associating and they are either excited about some results or they are depressed about some results. So that is a continuation of the attraction, continuation of the attachment to the action. So the more you associate with an action, the more you are attached yourself to an action, the stronger the reaction to it. So what I suggest is the starting point will be act, but forget as soon as the action happens. This is why in all pujas they say Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu at the end. The meaning is you say, okay, I have given it to Krishna, it's not yours anymore. It's not like, okay, now I'll give this phone to you and then I'll say I have to make a phone call, give it to me. Whenever I have to make a phone call, if I take back the phone from you, I haven't really given it to you. Similarly, if you say given it to Krishna, whenever you want to talk about it, think about it, you take it back from Krishna and say, I did it, but the result didn't happen. I did it, but that guy didn't get it. I did it, but that guy is blaming me. If you are thinking that you haven't really did Krishna Arpanamastu, you are still hanging on to it. So the thing is, but why I say that is relatively easy is because instead of dwelling on the past, you can dwell on the present. You can dwell on what to do right now. Use all your intellect, all your attachment, ego to decide the current action. What is the best current action without thinking too much about the past action. So the thing is, not worrying too much about the future, not analyzing too much of the past is a good starting point. That will basically limit the kind of attachment you are creating with an action. And as you limit yourself, basically as you are less attached to things, slowly you are creating a momentum in the right direction. But finally, how exactly the tiger gets off your back, that's a difficult question. But the thing is, how to get rid of is a very complicated question, but you can try to weaken the tiger. You can try to make the tiger starve by doing this. But the starting point is to recognize that there is an individual will. There is an individual ego, it has a will, he is doing things and it is responsible for those actions. That is the key. That is the key. If you just say, oh, God doesn't hate, God hates me, God didn't bless me with a good horoscope, so it's happening. Well, that is one way to look at it. But the thing is, with that attitude, if you keep engaging in wrong actions, you will continue to be blessed with a bad chart. So, what chart you have is not in your control, but what you do about correcting the chart in future is in your control. This is why great thinkers like Vivekananda, he just said astrology is for weak-minded people. He dismissed astrology. He said free will, action, do action. This is why most spiritual people, many spiritual people, they basically, for them destiny is not that interesting because you can't do anything about it. And they don't even look at destiny and free will as two different things. They look at them as a continuation, as a continuum. In a continuum, instead of looking at the present, you are focusing on the past. That is how they will look at it, like people like Sansekar Bharati. And that is a valid viewpoint. If your goal is to get out of this, that is a valid viewpoint. Anyway, so the thing is the 10th Lord. So like Sanjay Prabhakaran's mail said, if you make a prashna is less scientific than natural horoscopy. But the thing is, prashna has more parameters. When you make a prashna, it is based on the destiny of the person until now. It still doesn't say how the free will be used right now. Using prashna, you can't say what he will do. But the thing is, what is the force of the fate, force of all the collective action until now, you can say. Horoscope only says until birth. But the thing is, using all those actions, how they will play out in this life, how they will create various circumstances in this life. For studying it, there are basically more clearer formulas. Whereas prashna is less scientific. But unfortunately, it has more information because horoscope is missing the information from the birth until today. Prashna has the information from birth until today also. This is why the quote that Sanjay Prabhakaran sent from Prashnamarga says, if the horoscope is showing good dasas or good combinations, good planets, but Prashna is showing bad planets, it means he has good karma also, but the bad karma done perhaps after birth is giving results right now. So basically, Prashna is God answering to you, and he will answer based on the knowledge up to now. Okay. So I was saying, 10th Lord is in the 8th house. So in general, it shows basically unstable career. There can be a lot of changes in the career. So he may get into computers, later he may go into electronics, later he may go into something else. And as a matter of fact, by this trying various things, that may what will actually make you an expert in something, because when you have exposed yourself to totally different things, sometimes they may all come together nicely in future, depending on how things evolve. So you may be placed in an ideal way because you have the exposure to the right technologies in various fields. You may suddenly become a hotshot. So because the Sansa is showing him becoming some kind of hotshot and hotshot consultant, and also basically there is some instability. So probably he will work to his advantage.
And sir, 8th house is generally with the last. Can you throw some?
8th house is the house of instability, house of hard work, house of tapasya, house of workaholicness, house of setbacks, house of tensions. So all those things are possible. Here who are in the 8th house? 5th, 6th, 7th and 10th Lord. So 5th Lord and 10th Lord have a Raja. Let's see how apart the Sun is in the 13 is at 13 degrees. Sun is at 13 degrees. Mercury is at 12 degrees, very close. Venus is at 1 degree. Venus is far away, but Sun and Mercury are close. Where is Saturn?
7 degrees.
In between. Venus, Saturn, Sun, Mercury. Sun and Mercury are the closest. That is 5th and 6th Lord together. That is Dhimanta Yoga. So that is a good. Moreover, Sun and Mercury is Buddhaditya. So it is a good combination. Sun and Mercury are giving basically there is intelligence. And Lagna is at degrees. Okay. 8th house can also show. See, one thing is it can show a rocky life in general, right? So look at the basic charts, Navamsa, Dashamsa, to see if there is any similar combination in those also, right? It can also show ill health. 8th house is not conducive to excellent health. So there can be ill health also. Health can be imperfect, especially with 6th Lord's Mercury also being there. Now, if you look at the Navamsa has Lagna Lord, Sun in the 4th house of Sukha with Karaka of Sukha moon. Even though he is 12th Lord, it's not that bad. 12th is basically from the 4th house is 9th house. So from the 4th house of Sukha, 9th and 10th Lords are conjoined in the 4th house. So there is marital bliss. 7th Lord, Rahu is in Lagna. That is good. So nothing really terrible with respect to the Navamsa. Right? We are trying to see if the strong 8th house is manifesting itself as some big setbacks in any particular important decision chart. Look at D10, Dasamsa. Nothing really fancy, nothing really terrible. It's basically a fine chart. Mercury, Lagna Lord in an Uptaya, but with Sun is not good. 12th Lord Sun being with Mercury is not good, but Sun is Karka for power, Karka for career. So Mercury and Sun being together is not that bad. Moreover, Venus and Moon in the 11th and Jupiter in the 7th is super. So those combinations are really good. Exaltation of 8th Lord is not good, but he is also the Lord of 8 and 11 and he is in AL. Linking 8 and 11, A6 with AL. So his exaltation is not that bad. So overall, the Sansa is also not that bad. So basically, this is a fine chart. So probably it is health. The 8th house can show health. It can also show flourishing abroad. 8th house can also show staying away from your motherland. And one second. Let's look at the D6 to see health. How is D6? Lagna Lord Mood is in a Kendra. 6th Lord Jupiter is debilitated. 6th Lord debilitation is actually pretty good. The Lagna Lord is in a Kendra and Venus is in the 4th house. Nothing really terrible. You don't see terrible combinations like Lagna Lord with the 6th, 8th Lord or things like that, right? That we have seen in other charts where there is suffering. So even though 8th house is very strong in the Rashi chart, we don't see any untoward combination in the Shashtamsha. And how is D30? In the D30, Lagna has Rahu Ketu. So some basic deficiency in the Akash Tattva is there. Lagna having Rahu Ketu. So in general, there is some proneness to illness. Then the 9th Lord Sun, the Lagna Lord Jupiter, 7th Lord Mercury are in the 4th house. Venus is in 6th house, but 6th Lord is 6th. Again, except Rahu Ketu being in Lagna, nothing really terrible. So Trinshamsa, Shashtamsa are fine. So this is not really a chart of somebody, a sick person or somebody who is suffering all the time. No, things are fine. In that case, 8th house can also show just spirituality. 8th house is, it is basically somebody who is working hard. The fact that 8 falls in, 8 and A6 fall in the 8th house in the Samsa can show somebody who is working hard. So it can show a workaholic, right? 8 and A6 and also 11 being in the 8th house. So it could just be that he is a workaholic. And moreover, the Lagna Lord and 10th Lord of the Samsa Mercury is a Scorpio. Scorpio is the natural 8th house of the zodiac. 8th house of the natural zodiac. So overall, this could just be somebody who works hard, who is dedicated to his work and does a lot of work. That is one possibility. The other thing is, let us see the Vinchamsa, because 8th house can also show spiritual, it can show occult, mystical experiences, and in general, tapascherya, the spiritual sadhana that you do. So that can be, when 8th house and 12th house are strong, it can show material setbacks, losses, etc., but it can also show spirituality. So Vinchamsa is a thought that should be considered in those cases. So if you look at the Vinchamsa, the Lagna is Aquarius, right? So how is the chart? The 12th house is extremely strong. Mars, Rahu and Ketu. Lagna Lord Rahu, Mars and Ketu are there. So 12th house is very strong. 7th Lord in the 7th house with the 8th Lord. So 7th and 8th Lord together is the house of death, combination of death basically. 7th and 8th Lords in the 7th house, which is good in the spiritual Vinchamsa chart. So the fact that 7th, 8th and 12th houses are dominating is basically fine. Moreover, Lagna Lord is in the 4th house of direction. 4th house is the basic direction. 4th house is the house of knowledge and also mother and also basic direction. So he doesn't feel confused or lost in his spiritual. Of course, Saturn is not really a planet of clarity, but for Lagna Lord in 4th house is good. And 4th Lord Venus is also well placed. He is in the 11th house. So in general, as far as spiritual path is concerned, he is not that lost. He finds his path relatively easily, especially in the Saturn Dasha. Because Jupiter is not that good. Jupiter is in Malakarka Sthana. He is the 2nd and 11th Lord. He is a malefic, functional malefic in Malakarka Sthana. This is not a Dasha when there will be much spiritual progress. But Saturn is Lagna Lord in 4th house of direction. So you will get a clear direction in the Saturn Dasha, which is from 2021. But there is plenty of time. So Saturn Dasha, even Mercury Dasha. Mercury is 8th Lord in the 7th house. Excellent. So Ketu also is in the 12th house. So this is a powerful chart spiritually. So he will make some good spiritual progress in this life. So that is probably what the 8th house strong planets mean.
for any kind of thing,
Any kind of?
or chanting.
We'll see.
And I am not in a capacity. I always tell him that, sir, directly. I'm not in a capacity.
Now if you look at the Dasa, just out of curiosity, Dasa, the Dasa running right now is Gemini. Anything interesting? Not much. In Gemini Dasa, Libra becomes the progress Lagna. Nothing really great going on. Second house has a lot of planets. That's okay. But Virgo, how is Virgo? Virgo Dasa. In Virgo Dasa, Lagna becomes Ketka. So, a lot of planets in the 11th house. That is good for some spiritual progress. So, Virgo Dasa is a good Dasa. And Keptukan. In Keptukan Dasa, Taurus becomes the Lagna. And Jupiter is in the 9th house of Guru. So, there is a chance of good guidance during that period. And also, all these planets are in the 7th house. So, there are a lot of interactions relating to spiritual. So, he will be part of some group or some spiritual organization or something. When the 7th house is so strong in Dasa, the person engages in a lot of interactions. And Rahu is in the 12th house, which is fine for some experiences. So, it is really the Ketukan Dasa that seems interesting. And Scorpio Dasa is another interesting Dasa. In Scorpio Dasa, the Lagna will be Pisces. So, a lot of planets in the 9th house of Dharma. So, Ketukan and Scorpio Dasas will actually give some active spiritual life. I use active because of the 7th house in the case of Ketukan. And 9th house is organized religion. But the crux of his spiritual experience will come in Leo. Why? 2036 to 54. Why? Well, 12th house has 4 planets. Brilliant. The 12th house has 4 planets. So, that Dasa will be the real Dasa. Until then, lot of work, no experience, nothing basically. He just, with some belief, he just keeps doing things. He may even play an active role in some organization or something from 2021 till 2036. But from 2036 to 44, I see excellent progress. When the 12th house is so strong in the Dasa, it is very likely that there will be some powerful experiences. So that is at the end of Saturn Dasa and the beginning of Mercury Dasa. Right? 2036 to 44. 36 to 44 is Leo Dasa. So 2040 Mercury Dasa starts. And in my judgment, Saturn is not conducive to experiences. He is just 4th lord. He gives a direction, but he doesn't give. See, Saturn Dasa is starting in 2021. Around the same time when the Ketukan Dasa that we talked about earlier starts, then he will have a lot of interactions. So he can find some direction in the spiritual path, but he can't really give any powerful experiences or understanding. See, spirituality, people talk about spirituality, but the thing is, always I see that people who are talking about spiritual things, they are looking at the extraneous factors. They are looking at symbols. There are imagery. They say, oh, you know what, Tripura Sundari is wearing a sugar cane, and out of all the 7 rasas, sugar is shown by Mercury, so Tripura Sundari must be shown by Mercury. Like that, people are using all irrelevant logic. There is no consistency. You are not going to the core and understanding the essence. What is God? People don't understand. They are just looking at various symbols and trying to connect the dots. And you can't really make spiritual progress like that. Spiritual progress comes from internal understanding. So that understanding comes when the 12th house is powerful. So, and also Mercury Dasa. Mercury is the 8th lord in 7th house. That is the Marga Dasa. So, from that point of view, I think between 2040 and 2044, that is the crux of his spiritual life. But in general, this is a good chart spiritually. So don't worry too much about the 8th house. It has to do with that. Now, who is Atmakarta? Is it Mars? Atmakarta is Mars. So from Atmakarta, who is in the 12th house? Rahu. And what is Rahu show? Also Lagna is there. Lagna is also there. So that is good. That it basically shows good disposition, saintly disposition. Rahu is in the 12th from Atmakarta. So who will be appropriate? Venkateshwara and Durga. One of the two. See, Rahu is in Lagna also. Rahu is in Bharata Lord in the Lagna. So there is some problem with Rahu that way also. which will be appropriate? Let us see, is it a mother form is more appropriate or Vishnu form? The thing is, the A5, the Mantrapada has Mercury, Saturn, Sun, Venus in the Rashi chart. And the 8th house of sadhana has Mercury, Saturn, Venus and Sun. So Mercury, Saturn are really dominating, whereas Venus is also there, but he is away from everybody. And Moon, he is far away from everybody. So it is Mercury and Saturn, they are at the crux of important combination in the chart. Right? Even in the case of Atmakaraka is with Saturn and he is in a Mercurial sign. So looking at all these things, and Rahu there is affected by Mercury in the 12th from Atmakaraka in Navamsha. He is affected by Mercury. So the thing is, there is a more powerful Saturn-Mercury influence than the Moon-Venus kind of influence. So my gut feeling is it's not a form of mother, but it's a form of Vishnu. So Rahu will show not Durga, but he will show Venkateshwara. So my suggestion would be any mantra of Venkateshwara will be good for him. Om Namo Venkateshaya or Om Namo Bhavate Venkateshaya. Those two. So one of those mantras or any shloka of Venkateshwara also, like Karavalam, Venkateshwara Karavalam Stotram or Venkateshwara Prabhadam, Venkateshwara Mangalachasanam, Venkateshwara Stotram, Kamalapuju, that kind of things will be appropriate. If you just want a mantra, Om Namo Bhavate Venkateshaya or Om Namo Venkateshaya, especially given that he has a strong 8th house, 8th letter mantra may be actually very good, Ashtakshari. So Om Namo Venkateshaya. That is the Ashtakshari of Venkateshwara. So that seems like a good mantra for him in my judgment. So good luck to him and good luck for his career. Anything else? Okay, so with that we will end today's class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.